I became an entrepreneur for the first time in Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley obviously has a very interesting ecosystem that is very conducive for a first-time entrepreneur. It is difficult not being in the valley and not doing your own company. I am now on my fourth venture, so now I am what you would call a serial entrepreneur. The first company was a B2B company in the internet space, and what we focused on was enabling a distributor, so that was my very first company. I am one of the few people who, not too long ago, about 10 years ago, as a first-time entrepreneur, actually used the TiE network for mentoring, for attending seminars, for attending events, and not too long ago, actually 12 years ago. And now I'm on the other side of the fence. I spend a large portion of my time mentoring new entrepreneurs, being speakers at different events, and now I'm also president of a TiE chapter, and I'm on the global board as well. I think India is a market that you cannot ignore. India is a market where if you are an entrepreneur in the ICT field, in telecommunications and the communication industry, in the environmental services industry or in biotech, India is a market that you cannot ignore. It is a market you will have to play in. It is not a market that you would be familiar with, but if you want phenomenal revenue growth, it's a market that you would need to be comfortable with, learn to be comfortable with. Most entrepreneurs are used to a price point or selling a product at a price point that is the norm in their country. So, for example, a Swedish entrepreneur would be used to selling a product that is a norm in Sweden. But if you look at the purchasing price parity, the PPP model, the purchase price of a same product or service in a country like India would be distinctly different. And Swedish entrepreneurs and investors would need to be comfortable at that price point. So let me take an example. If you are a Swedish telco, you sell your per minute rate of a few Swiss kroner. On the other side in India, at the moment, the per minute rate is 5 paise, which translates into 1/20th of a pence in euros. Okay. Or if you're used to selling something at 100 euro in Sweden, you may need to sell it in India at 50 euro or 30 euro. And that is something you'll have to make peace with. And that's what is called the India price point. I think what is important, as in any market, is to find a way of which is the lowest cost of creating a brand perception. Most entrepreneurs, in my opinion, and that is not generally even in Sweden, anywhere in the world, spend very little time and effort in building a brand or an entrepreneurial presence. In a country like India, it is important that you build that brand presence because there's a lot of noise. Now, how you build that brand presence, is obviously a matter of perspective. But it is, in my opinion, never too late to build a brand presence in any market that you do business in. And entrepreneurs are not the best people, typically, to build that brand presence. I think, as with entrepreneurs anywhere that are looking to India, there are multiple things that you need to be aware of. One, obviously, is that you need to familiarize yourself with the market, especially a market which is a high growth market for you. So you need to be very comfortable with the cultural context, the pricing context, the needs of your customer, and the solution that you provide, and what you do to fulfill that need. Second is you need to find a way to have your brand presence felt. And third, obviously, is that you need to service your customer well and delight your customer. Because if you don't delight your customer, the next customer ain't coming. Right now, there are about 16 TiE chapters in India. We are in all the major cities, which is Delhi, Bangalore, Calcutta, Chennai, Mumbai, Bangalore. We are also in a number of tier 2 cities, TiE Punjab, TiE UP, TiE Hubli, TiE Rajasthan, TiE Pune. So if you look at it, it's a pan-India presence. If you start to look at the 16 chapters. And as TiE is an organization about entrepreneurs, for entrepreneurs, and by entrepreneurs, it's an organization that Swedish entrepreneurs should certainly look at. And hopefully either they'll find employees, or they'll find distributors, or channel partners, or investors as a result of this association. But as with any other association, it requires a degree of patience, a degree of persistence, a degree of perseverance. Most entrepreneurs, where they go wrong, is just because they belong to an entrepreneur, belong to an organization. There's a sense of entitlement. You just need to work the system. So I can give you an example of that, Hannes. If India is an important market for an entrepreneur, and this is an example, it applies as much as UK being an important market or US being an important market for a Swedish entrepreneur. The first element, obviously, is to go visit India. As you look to visit India, there are 16 chapters. I think go visit as many chapters as you can. Within those chapters, most chapters would be delighted to introduce you to folks in the ecosystem that share your vision and that share your product line. Okay. So that certainly, your Rolodex has certainly gone up many times. Most chapters may even be delighted to invite you to speak. Most chapters will be delighted to put a program together for you. So that's level 2 engagement. That's the lowest cost way of branding yourself, right? So these are different ways of engagement. As you go there again, your second time around, you have gone up a notch. You have a set of people now that you go need to follow up, do action items with. But the network certainly has provided you connectivity, linkage, and brought relevant people together for you.